Okay, guys, this is page number 22. We're getting so close. I am having so much fun doing this book, and I don't know that I'm ready for Christmas, but I am so glad I'm working on some stuff like this. Okay, so I've done a little bit of pre-planning, but I haven't done any of the work. This was a piece of scrap, and it's 5 3/8 by 6 1/4. Okay, so I'm not going to cut it down because there will be a full picture can go on the front and the back of this, so that's fantastic. I don't know what the heck I have done with my picture again. My plan was, oh, there it is. Stick it back in the same spot. Let's see, a picture will go on this. Sorry, picture will go on that. When it's black on black, you're not going to be able to see. So that's really, really super cool. Anyway, so we've got this, and then I've got a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Okay, so I am going to need my big scoreboard. Excuse me. La la la. Okay. So, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. I got to cattywonker it a little bit because of my tripod. So now on the 5 3/8 side, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And that is going to be our hinged spot, because this will flip back and forth. Okay, so there's that. On the 8.5 side, 4 1/4 is center. So one of these is going to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than the other, which is no big deal. Let's see. First, let's do a 1/2 inch on this side. Oops, don't move. Okay, so there is a 1/2 inch on this side. And then we're going to start from here. So the score mark, the score line is down here. I know you can't see it, but it's down on this end of the paper, not up here. The score mark that we just did. Now 4 1/4 is center. And I think I will make the top one slightly larger than the bottom one. So this is the top one because down here is the hinge. So it will be hinged to the paper like this. So this side is the top. So I'm going to score at 4 1/4. Only down to the score mark. Don't do it past that. And then I'm going to go to 4 3/8, and I'm going to score again. Just down to the, you can see that, just down to the 1/2 inch. Okay. All right, that is it. I'm going to put this away. Excuse me. There we go. All right, now let's get the book moved just for a minute and get the cutter out. Okay, see if I can get this. Now what I'm going to do is I've got the 1/2 inch score mark up here. All right, and I've got just the score lines, and I'm going to line up the score lines on my cutter so that I cut just to the outside of that score line. Make sure you've got everything in straight. You're only going to do it up to the 1/2 inch mark. And then you're going to readjust and cut to the outside of the other score line, making sure your paper is lined up. And again, just to that 1/2 inch score line mark. And now you're going to snip this piece right at that score line. And there we go. So that comes out. And then that's it for the cutter. Now, if you've been using one of these, we're going to put this on the ends, line this up. There we go. I gotta make sure I'm lining it up. Okay, there's one side done. Line it up again using these little tick marks on the sides. You kind of want to center it, since this is you know, this is a kind of a standalone decoration here. You want to make sure that you're getting it let's line it up. Come on. There we go. All right. Now remember, we've got a couple here that are just kind of funky looking. Well, let me leave them for right now. Oh, I'm also going to do this piece, because we've still got 4 7/8 across, so I do a little thing here. You're still going to get your picture on. And we want to incorporate this throughout the book so that it doesn't just happen on one page. I don't need to have it happen on every page. I like variety, but I do like to, if I incorporate something, I like to make sure that it's, you know, in several places throughout. Oh, that worked out nicely. Okay, let's get over here. See how that one did. Oh, not bad. Alrighty. Okay. Oops. Thought I had it all. Okay. Put this off to the side. And I've taken my fancy bone folder away for a while. I'm going to fold into the mountain. Okay, oh, I hate this. It leaves streaks, but everything's going to get covered up, so it'll be fine. When you don't have the Teflon bone folder and you don't like the shiny streaks that they leave on your paper, just make sure that when you fold it over, like, well, let me get these folded singly here. Just be strategic. Flip it over. This is the back. And it doesn't matter if you get a mark. Clip off a little bit more of that. There we go. Okay. I am going to use score tape on this. And of course I'll also use glue. Flip it around this way. Yeah, right at this point it's a pretty flimsy piece, so be careful. Be careful with it because there's only like a 1/8 of an inch holding it together. Once we get it down and fixed the way we want it, you know, and I do need, I'll use this scoreboard. I can't remember now where we were going to, it's 4 3/4. What was I doing? Okay, let me put it back here. I was gonna have this way and flap outwards. So I want this flap to be 4 3/4. Let's make it 4 1/2. Let's see what we end up with if we make these, our ruler, 4 1/2 to the edge of the piece. So what was I thinking? Huh. Give me a second here now. I don't have 6 inches to put this thing on. It's 4 3/4. Oh, because this is the 11th side. Duh. I'm thinking 8 1/2. Yeah, half of that is ba-ba-bang. Okay, so we're going to have to do this again because we're going to have to cut this down. Don't judge me. It's too early in the morning. Okay. I haven't drank my coffee yet. I'm not a coffee drinker. I have a soda. I have 1 soda every day, and that's my coffee. Okay, so I want the first one to be 4 1/2. And my paper is 4 3/4. So let's do another 4 1/2, which would make it 8 1/2, right? Right. Okay, so I want this from my folded edge to be 8 1/2 inches. So 8 1/2 inches. Now, you're also going to need to make sure that you're pulling this so that it is even where it's supposed to be. And it was 1/8 of an inch. Hold it down well. Save these for something else because we'll be able to use those, and we'll just have to do that part all over again. Okay, and everything is 4 1/2. So let me just go ahead and get this scoreboard and just do 4 1/2. So there's 4, 4 1/4, and 4 1/2. Okay, and if you want to finish the score, just flip it over this way. I honestly don't know which way I'm going to, oops, which way this is going to get scored, so I don't mind doing double duty. Okay. There's that. Now I need my little guy out of here again. Duh. Sorry you're having to live through this. But you see my mistakes. You do better. You do better. Make sure that's not in there. If you're designing as you go, you don't really know how your design is going to come out until you do it. I mean, it sounds good on paper. You add it all up, but you know, there's that unforeseen factor, and fortunately we're just working with paper, so an unforeseen factor is just not that big a deal. It's the way I look at it. And besides, most of the time when you screw up and you have to think of some other way to make it work, because you don't want to waste all that time and energy you just put into something, you usually end up with something cooler than when you started out. So that's just my thought. So I think Kathy Orta always says it's an opportunity. So, excuse me. I don't normally do that, but it's really early in the morning. Okay, so I want these, I want to hook this here. Or I want to hook this like this. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to hook this here and have these flip back like this. There we go. That's what I want. And when I'm paper crafting, I pretty much always get what I want. Yeah. Okay, that'll work. So let's get these folded now that I know which way I want them folded. Make sure we're going to line them up correctly. A little finger pressing. Now just ever so gently so that you're not leaving a mark. Okay. And then flip this one over as well. Line up the edges. Little finger press. Okay, so this, okay, and the first thing now, see, now that's going to go like that, and this, come here, is going to go like this. And that's going to be right there at the edge of the page, which I like. I like it. Okay, but so first things first, what's on this page? Okay, so let's see what we got left here. Let's see. I've got this piece, which I really haven't used. I've used that quite a bit, but I could use this piece. And you don't really see a bunch of it. So I think that's what I'll do. And this is already cut for top and bottom. It just has to be pencil marked for that space. So there, I'm going to cut that for that. And then I can use small pieces. So I can use some of this brown. Oh, and that'll look good right there in the front, won't it? Or I can use some of the, oh no, I don't have enough of the red. Could do that. But I'll end up getting that pink in there, and I have no pink whatsoever. But I love that part. Isn't that neat? Just that right there. I could cut that out. And I might just do that, but for right now, I think we'll use this side. And let me size this up for cutting purposes. And I'm going to do it just below okay, there's that. Then I have the inside of this. Holy Hannah, so it's going to be a lot of paper. I actually think this and this will be the same, and this should be the same, so that it's not super crazy wild. So I think we're going to have to go to some of our larger pieces. Which are getting fewer and fewer. Yay! Okay, so we have enough of this that we can use. Haven't even used any of this. So I think we'll play with that. And we've got this. God, I love these stripes. I don't know why really, but well, I do because it's big and bold pattern, and I love that. Trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing. I could use more of this. This is what I've got left in the big pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 whole, I think they're whole sheets. I do have my 2 Holy Nights over here, but I'm saving those for the last page. I'm really pleased how well this is going, and I'm using up this paper. It's beautiful paper. But it just excites me. Here's another, I don't know why I've got this over here. Put that over there with my black stuff. Okay. Ha, 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 ha. Let's see. I don't want to use that and that. But if I use the polka dots, I could use this piece. If I use the polka dots, I could use that piece. And that would be nice actually on the insides here, so that you felt like you could write something. What you think? Might lend itself to nice journaling, because that's going to be a spot that's fairly small for a picture, but I guess they're really both the same size, but then when you put this on there, it does make it a little smaller. So I use polka dots there and there. Or I could do this and polka dots here and here. And if I have, oh, which I would, I have enough, I could do this and this. Okay. And then maybe put the polka dots on the front. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough paper for that, but because this is the only one I got. And I don't know. Got that to there. That to there. I might just make it. I might just make it. We'll see. And then I'm going to put this on the inside, and I think that'll work all right. Or should I put this on the inside? That would look prettier, wouldn't it? Up against that. Ah! I don't know what to do. Huh. I could put a flip and you open it up and then you have all that journaling spot, because I do like this better. Okay, so we might try that. Now, first thing, whoops, I'm going to cut this piece off because it's not going to be useful in this situation. And I think I'm just barely on screen, but all I'm doing is cutting the little branding strip off. Okay. Now I can check it for cut and size. Okay. There's that. And that. And then set this. Oh. So it's not going to be enough. So now what I'm going to do is put some kind of border down on both of these. So I have little strips here. Let me see what I've got that might be good for that. See now, like these little strips off the paper. Unfortunately, I only have one of these. What else do I have? Do I have one? I have this one, this one, this one. Of course, I can cut one off. I have the wood. Did this one get, that one got used? Okay, but let's see. Actually, I could put little strips of this so you could journal. Good idea. And I have a little sheet and I can just cut strips out of it. Oh, I love it. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to put these back. Okay, so that's going to make this go further. And I'm just going to cut so now one of them will be, you know, just correct, and the other one will be. So I'm just cutting this where I marked it. Because I know I'm going to use the whole piece. And I'm going to cut this where I marked it. Okay. So now this first one should actually work pretty well. This one I cut. Okay. So we'll mark this one like this, and then we're going to take a little piece of this. Well, I don't really like that. I don't like it at all. Now, if I did this, that would be very sweet. Sweet. All right, so I am going to cut out 2 of these. And we'll see if it'll work on that side. But I'm going to cut out 2 of these, and then we'll come back and we'll put that together and we'll cut out the rest of the things. Okay, so I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I run both of those through on, and I tried to match it up so that the pattern would look the same. So I'm going to free these up. Free these up. Sorry about that. It's just a reminder on my phone. this whole thing's not going to get used, so this really is just a technicality at this point. We're just going to use, you know, the little end right there. We don't want to use too much. We're just covering up that it's too short. And this one I actually cut a titch too long, so I'm going to take off a smidge. There we go. I think we're good now. Okay, that works for me. All right. So now we're just going to center these. Let's put it on here. Center these. There we go. Flip it over and cut it. Okay, and now take that off, and now we're just going to glue it on, just about 1/4 of an inch is all we need. Whoops. Am I correct here? Yeah. Just about 1/4 of an inch. See, oh yeah, I got a line here, so I can just line it right up on one of those lines, and then I know it's got to be pretty straight. As long as I put this really parallel. So you got to watch out for that too. But that looks pretty good. Okay. I'm trying not to squeeze it real hard because I don't want the glue to move up. I want to be able to slide a picture down. You know, I want to be able to get that down there a little bit so, you know, I don't have to cut off quite as much. Okay. Alrighty, so there we go. Now we can put this down where we want it. And make a mark where we're going to cut. And we've extended our paper. Oops. So I'm going to give it a cut on the line. We're going to glue it down. Just like that, baby. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with this other one. Let go. Okay. Let's get it up here so all the pieces and parts you're going to need to cut off are going to be, you know, behind this page. Try and get it as straight as you can. Flip it over and cut it off. All the excess. Okay, that's hanging over a little bit, so let's get it. Make sure you don't cut the regular paper. There we go. Don't let it get moving on you now. Keep a good hold of it. Just want to kind of push the scissors against the paper you're cutting. Alright. Thank goodness this is thick paper, so it's a lot easier to deal with. Now we're going to put this on here about 1/4 of an inch. And kind of eyeball it. Look at it, make sure you're getting it somewhat straight. Again, I'm not pushing hard. Looks good there. Push it up just a little bit. See that it's already taken hold. There we go. Okay, now we're going to get this out of the way. Do this one. Mark it where we want to cut it. Pencil, pencil, pencil. So there we go. And then take it and cut it down. Those pieces back up there. Alright, so we've got that done. And then we wanted this page done with this as well. And then if I have enough, I'll be able to do the top with the, let's see. That's about where it needs to get cut, because that goes, yeah. Okay. Oops, didn't make the cut this way. Hello. Although, it doesn't really matter this way because that's not going to be enough to deal with. Is this going to be enough? Oh my Lord, it's going to be perfect. Perfect! Hardly have to cut it down at all. Holy Hannah! Yay! Okay, so let's get this. Erase my little pencil mark here. Inking around the edges, which I've almost forgot to do. We'll take care of those little bits that you don't get off. Alright. Flip it around this way. Cut it off. Mishap with the cutter. There. Okay, so we have this right here. Perfect. Alright, let's get some of this stuff inked before I forget. There's that. This. Okay, so far so good. I got those two done. I got this done. I I know what this is going to be. Let me get this cut. Put that away. Put that away. All right, let me find my marks. A mark there, but I don't think that goes with anything. Where's my mark? I knew this would happen when I made the mark. Okay, there's a mark, and there's a mark. And I think, where is it? Let me make sure I'm looking at the same mark. There's a mark, and there's a mark. Okay. So, and there is the outside. Oh, it's so much nicer getting a nice clean cut with a sharp blade. I use that cutter so often. I go through blades quite rapidly. But I love this cutter. It's, gosh, it's about 5 or 6 years old, and it is still doing a very nice job for me. The only thing is you got to buy the blades from Stampin' Up. I have a wonderful, and I mean, she looks out for you if she can remind you about a deal or whatever. She's very good, but she's not pushy. It's Eva Dietz. I think it's D-E-I-T-Z. And she's a Stampin' Up demonstrator. She's my demonstrator. Now, she's located in Washington, but that doesn't really matter where you go to buy your Stampin' Up stuff, unless you want a party. And if you want a party, then, you know, kind of is helpful to have one local, but I don't have parties. So, yeah. Oh, so there's little doodad. Hi, Eva, if you're watching. Okay, so got this end, got this end, got this. Still don't, yeah, we do, don't we? That, but then this was this. And I want you to look. I still need to cut off just a smidge. But that's going to be cute. That's going to be really cute. Yes. Okay. So, I'm just going to mark these up for cutting. I'm going to cut them, and I'll be right back. Okay, now have all of the pieces and parts cut. And I noticed that this one, I don't know why, I don't remember why. I think because it was a piece that was left. I don't know, but anyway, it's a little short here, so I am going to bring in some of the trim that I've purchased for this, and I had two different ones. This one, because it looked kind of like icicles, but it is just too white for everything. It's just too white. Although I love it, I'm not using it for this. I'll use it some other Christmas thing. But what I am going to do is use this and put it right there. So it kind of covers up the space between, but not getting in the way of the snowflake border. Okay? So let's start putting page 22 together. And let me see, it looks like I've edged this, and I've edged this. I know I haven't edged these. Could have done this before I came back on, but this will remind you to do it, because I know I forget. I still haven't come up with these, but I'm going to go ahead, this has been done. I'm going to go ahead and put this all together. And I would love to have done it like that, but the writing is definitely needs to be like this. And you'll notice I tried to match up the pattern. Now, I'm on a different day, so if I'm repeating something that I've already said, I'm sorry. And then this is our back page. So all of this needs to be attached to this, and then this will go into the book. Alright, so this is going to, let's go ahead and glue the pieces down first. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. I want to make sure that all of the ends and corners get down, but I'm still not pushing really hard because this glue does not dry quite as fast. But then when you can't move it anymore, you know it's caught well enough that you can really give it a good rub. There we go. Remember still to be very careful with this piece because it is still just hooked together by this little piece here. And sometimes if you're working with a glue that has a large opening, if you start in the center and get the flow going the way you want it, then you're not going to end up with that big glob in the first corner. I sometimes forget that. There we go. Trying to make sure these look even. They are going to be sitting right next to each other. Okay. Alright, open this up. We'll figure these out in a minute. It might be this paper that I put there. There we go. Make sure that little piece down here gets stuck down, making that we extended our page. Kind of match up where this is going to be. This has got a larger border. Come on now, get down there. Yeah, this has got a larger, this one's got a larger border than this one, but some things just, you know, it's handmade. It can't be perfect. We try to get it somewhat, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this, flip this open, and I'm gonna put score tape here. Alrighty. I'm also going to put a little glue because this is going to be holding a little bit of weight. And I'm also going to be trimming the edges here, just ever so slightly. Okay. All right. I'm going to just match this up. Get it this way so I make sure I'm getting it lined up correctly. I've got it evenly spaced. I do want to make sure that I'm totally covering that. The space between the pages, I want to make sure, so I am having to butt up right up against this. Hi, puppy. My little dog's wanting some attention here. Wait a minute. And we're just gonna push that down. Hi, babe. Oh, my little puppy. He's a good boy. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to glue these pieces on. And I'm going to stop just for a second because I don't know what he wants. I'll be right back.